I'm going to talk to you about standards-based grading. So, standards-based grading is kind of a way to even the playing field. If you want to think about a kid who has 0, 0, 0, 0, what's really motivating that student to keep trying when they feel like they've already lost? I'm going to get into a little bit more about a couple of reasons why we choose to do standards-based grading. But what it is it's just another way to grade. So in the traditional realm of grading, we have A through F, and these are estimated ranges. So if you notice, like an A and a C and a B, they're all 10 points. That's what you can get to be an A, B, or C student. A D student is only a 5-point interval. And then an F student can be anywhere from 0 to 64. So you have 64 chances to fail. And that's kind of, again, going back to that, is this really fair to help students? If a kid keeps getting zeros but then wants to try, can they ever dig themselves out of the hole that they've created? What's to keep them from giving up? So standards-based grading uses this formula up top. You take the average of a scale score and you just calculate this, and what it will always do is give you these grades here. So a 4 is a 100, a 3 is an 85, etc. You think about it, is it really fair what we do? Whereas now we have a 15-point interval, a 15-point interval, a 15-point interval, and a 15-point interval. So, hey, everything checks out. This is great. Now we have a much more even idea of where these numbers are coming from, and that failing average isn't going to kill a kid if they miss an assignment or something like that. So another benefit of standards-based grading, as well as not having your kids who are getting zeros just completely giving up on you, if you look at this problem, now some of you might be a little rusty on your geometry, and that's fine, but basically, this student's doing everything correctly. If you read the problem, they've labeled it correctly. They know that 2x plus 2's equal 1 4x minus 16, and they solved the entire thing correctly. This is 100% correct. They did not answer the question correctly. This would be a -2 because they got a multiple choice question wrong. If you look, they wanted AC. So what they really wanted them to do in the end is substitute this value back in. This student clearly knows exactly what to do. They understand the concept of the problem, but they're going to get -2 because they didn't read the question. Is that really worth -2? So another thing about standards-based grading is that it's going to allow you to let your students make those mistakes and try to fix them. So here's a little quick infographic about standards-based grading, but you're allowing your students to mess up and fix it. That's really, in a nutshell, what it's really aimed to do. And it does it in a safe way so that they're not feeling that they're lost forever. So again, that zero isn't just going to affect them forever. So how it looks like in our class, we break all of our standards down to learning targets into chapters. Students take a quick check score, and that goes into their original, but then they can always retake. So the whole point is to learn from mistakes. So they would input all of those original scores, and then they would choose to retake or not. The goals are always 3s and 4s, and I'll explain what those 3s and 4s are in a moment. This all gets calculated with that formula, and so like all of these grades would turn into a 94. So here is what we use for our scale for standards-based grading. A 4 is perfect. You did everything right. Everything's great. All your work is shown. You're wonderful. A 3, you know exactly what you're doing. You made a small mistake, like 5 plus 3 equals 7, and you kept going with the problem. You didn't read correctly, something like that. A 2 is a conceptual error. You are not showing enough work to show that you understand the problem, or you just are doing mistakes that are conceptually wrong. So you're missing something. A 1 means you're trying to start. You don't really know what you're doing, but you're trying. And the only way to get a 0 is if you simply don't do it. So even just for trying, you're going to get a 55. We're going to have you experience this a little bit. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take the quiz that's at this station, and you're going to grade it the traditional way out of 12 points, and then you're going to grade it the standards-based grading way, where you're going to use this scale for each question. You're going to calculate it, and I want you to see which grade you feel shows that student's understanding. And that's it for the station.